Good morning, everyone. Eric, thank you for that wonderful prelude. I've been dancing as I've been listening. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to worship at First Parish in Concord on this summer morning. It is a summer morning indeed. I'm going to introduce our worship team in a minute, but I'd like to say before that if it would be helpful to you to have a live transcript going, to have the service closed captioned, you should see a button in the lower part of your screen that says CC Live Transcript. And if you press that, you'll get the transcript all through the service. I'm Beth Norton. I'm the Director of Music Ministry here at First Parish, and happy to be here this morning for this service of song. And Liz Weber, our Minister for Pastoral Care.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to church.
And I see Brendan Ferrari, our Children's Choir Director.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
And Adrienne Betancourt, our Social Action Director.
Mother Nature's not waiting until June 21st. I'm so glad to be here with you.
And Anderson Manuel, who leads our Gospel Ensemble.
Good morning, everyone. So good to be here with you. Can't wait to see you in the near future.
Reverend Amy Friedman, our Minister for Religious Exploration.
Good morning. We were just having show and tell in our family reconnect, and it is great to connect with all of you this morning.
And Dawn Van Patten, her trusty sidekick in leading religious exploration.
Yeah, it is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to work alongside Amy. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the month of June. Here we are.
And finally, Lily Van der Zanden, our Zoom wizard, who keeps this all together. Yay, Lily.
Good morning, everybody. Great to be here.
This morning's call to worship is a poem that has called to me, literally, over the last several weeks. It's come to me from a number of different sources. And so I share it with you this morning as a way to gather us into this place of worship. The poem is Clearing by Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize it and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. Liz will light our chalice.
That was beautiful, Beth. I invite you, if you have a chalice or a candle at home, to light it so that we all kindle our flames together. And if not, you can use your hand to make a little flame, or you can just light the flame in your heart. We light our chalices as so many generations have before us, as so many people around the world do. We light our chalice to create that little space of clearing and a space of gratitude for what has been enough and what has sustained us. And let's say together our responsive reading. O flame of our faith, open our hearts and fill our bodies and souls with persistent strength. Enliven our spirits and engage us deeply in this life of ours, this sacred, essential moment now. Let's sing together. Anderson and Brendan are going to start us off.
Good morning, everyone. Please join us as we sing together one of my favorite songs, and I am so proud and so happy to be singing with Brendan this morning. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. I'll sing a song of love and rose in the winter time.
Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Come, walk in rain with me. Come, walk in rain with me. Come, walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Hi. Hi, Brendan.
Hey!
Hi, Anderson.
Good morning. So good to see you guys.
Good morning. I want to thank you both for singing songs with us throughout this time. You do bring me hope and songs of love all the time. I was just writing my annual report, which is for our annual meeting coming up. And you'll be able to read it, but I want to tell you while we're here together how much I appreciate that we were able to lead the family service and then family reconnect together. Anderson, your love of music is contagious. I can just feel you. Your spirit just emanates right through that computer. And Brendan, this seems untrue, but you and I have never actually met in person.
True.
And yet we've been working together all year, and I feel so connected to you. And I really want to thank you for bringing your talents to First Parish and just your warm and friendly presence, connecting with our children and with me. I feel like we've known each other longer than a year.
Likewise, yeah. And I'm really happy to be part of the community.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a blessing that we've been able to do this online. This morning, the three of us are here because we want to talk to the whole community, but especially to our young people about singing. And I wanted to ask each of you, what has singing meant to you during this time of social distance?
So for me, it's been a way, to connect with other people, especially, about a year or so ago from now. That was a lot harder to do. So luckily we're in a kind of a different situation, but in a time where it was hard to be around a lot of different people, finding ways to sing with others is a way to connect with each other when you're not in the same room.
Absolutely. What do you think, Anderson?
I think it's been really hard for me at the beginning because I am a touchy-feely person, And I feel like sometimes I love feeling people's energy when I'm singing. So it's been really hard for me. And what I had to do is that I had to think of a way as no matter where I am, the spirit that you have within you, no matter where you are, you can still share it through screen, through whatever mode that you have. So it's been really important for me to encourage the kids to really think about it as a, no matter, pretend like, close your eyes and pretend like we are all in that circle together. And don't worry about the screen. Just bring the level of energy and enthusiasm. And it's been challenging, but also too it's been doing things in a different way to bring the best out of them.
Oh,
It's a
that's
way to kind of
well,
find
that's well
normal.
said. Sometimes we don't even know who we've touched, and this is true in normal times, whatever that is. Um, that we share, and hopefully the things that we put out into the world, we touch other people. Brendan, I think I might have interrupted you. What did you want to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, almost like what you said just then. It's a way to kind of bring normalcy in a time that is not normal.
Absolutely. I see a little one running behind you. That is great to see your family back
That's
there.
very normal.
Yeah. How now each of you are leaders of music in our community, and you're also teachers. How do you inspire a love of singing in others? Brendan, why don't you go first?
Sure. So I have such a great experience that I've had with music ever since I was a kid, and I still do, which is why I choose to spend so much of my life doing music with kids as well. And so um, it's my hope that sharing my own passion for music and for singing is infectious, and being in the same place with that energy with kids, I'm hoping will just bounce right over to get that kind of vibe of positivity and energy.
And I can tell you that it does. I've seen it happen. You do that. How about you, Anderson?
I think that both it's been very interesting using that new mode of sound trap to try to get the kids to really listen to themselves. I think one of the things that's been good about this is that they really get a chance to listen to themselves. And when we present it to them in that mode, it gives them an opportunity to really listen and to also really pay attention to their singing. But also too, when we're recording, is to bring that joy, that enthusiasm. And it's hard. It's hard, but I think that as music leaders, we have to bring that enthusiasm. And in my classroom, my kids think I'm crazy because every morning we sing, and they're like, "Oh, this is not music. This is not singing." I'm like, "Your life is a song." And the way that you bring joy is you don't have to be an amazing singer. All you have to do is it's a form of expression. It's a form of release. So I incorporate music every morning in my classroom, and my kids look at me like I'm crazy, but that's okay.
Well, Anderson, you just answered what was going to be my next question, was why do you need to sing? And so I love what you said about it being an important part of our lives, an important part of expression and a connection. And Brendan, do you have anything to add to that thought?
Yeah, it again, it just brings happiness. It brings happiness whether you like to do music alone, or if you like to do with others in a big group, small group. And I think especially when you're singing or playing an instrument with the group, you have that sense of belonging and teamwork that is kind of hard to find in other places. So it's just a different version of happiness that I think is so important.
Well, I
Hmm.
really appreciate both of you, and thank you for bringing that love of singing to our community. And I know, Brendan, that there is a song that you're going to share with us next is it from our children's choir?
It is, yes. So it's the children's choir's rendition of Peace Like a River.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hiking in the woods, hiking in the woods, hiking
Going to the beach, going to the beach.
Going to the beach. Going to the beach. Picnic at the river. Picnic at the river. Being free. Being free. Seeing my friends. Seeing my friends. Seeing my friends. Seeing my friends. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
Thank you, Brendan and Anderson and Amy and Children's Choir. That, just an example of why I am so full of gratitude for being with this team. Thank you. In the spring of 2020, all over the world, choral singing was suddenly transformed by COVID-19 from a promoter of health and human connection to a source of contagion. In the midst of the sorrow and fear experienced by choral singers everywhere, American composer Elaine Hagenberg wrote 2 short pieces arranged so they could be sung by literally any combination of voices. She called them Songs from Silence. Elaine offered these pieces for free and hoped they would be shared and sung widely. She dedicated them to the choral community in hope of healing during times of silence and distance. The First Parish Choir has sung these 2 pieces this year remotely, Song of My Heart and Stir the Embers. Jane Fisher, one of our sopranos, had this to say about these two short pieces. If the song of my heart falls silent, sing to me, strikes me as a plea for compassion, a recognition that all of us at some times in our lives will find ourselves beset by situations in which our hearts cannot sing. But we are not alone, because in fact, there are others who can sing to us. I've always had trouble remembering if the words are, if the song of my heart falls silent, sing to me, or sing for me. Both are important. Sing to me so that music will surround me. Sing for me when I cannot, but then I am still heard. When our voices stir the embers, my heart remembers our song again. Seems particularly appropriate during a pandemic. We can't sing together as we have and as we want to, but the embers are still there, ready to burst into flame again. When we sing a familiar hymn, my heart pictures us in the sanctuary, singing to and with the congregation. When we sing something new, it's not that my heart remembers, but that I think of singing that music again when we are together. Let us listen together to Elaine Hagenberg's Songs from Silence.
If the song of my heart falls silent, sing. If the song of my heart falls silent, sing. If the song of my heart falls silent, sing. If the song of my heart falls silent, sing. If the song of my heart silent, true. If the song of my heart falls silent, true. If the song of my heart falls silent, true. If the song of my heart falls silent, true. Sing to voices stir the embers, my voices stir the embers, my soul the embers, my soul the embers, my voices stir the embers, my voices stir the embers, my soul the embers, my soul the embers, my soul my voices stir the embers, my soul the embers, my soul the embers, my
The embers are still there, ready to burst into flame. Jane's image captures the dedication and spirit of singers of all ages who have learned and relied on new technology to stir those embers and keep the flame of our connection alive through singing. Zoom has been a miraculous resource for us these past 15 months, keeping us connected, right? It has also been a curse. Zoom does not play well with live music. We can't sing together in a traditional way, though we can sing at the same time, muted. Soundtrap, an amazingly sophisticated free online recording studio that Anderson referred to earlier, has allowed singers in the First Parish Choir and the Gospel Ensemble to sing together asynchronously. Now, how's that for an oxymoron? The recordings you hear of these choirs are the results of singers layering their voices onto one another in unison and harmony, online, recorded, until they are all there and ready to be mixed into a recording that sounds remarkably like our real choirs. They didn't teach us this stuff in the early 80s when I was a choral conducting student. And this is not what our singers signed up for when they joined the choir. But we have kept being the choirs of First Parish and Concord, and we have valued connection over perfection. We have explored new ways of being a choir despite the discomfort. And I am so grateful to this intrepid staff that you have seen. During this time of isolation, we have been singing. We have had singing. And I'm also truly grateful for the singers who have taken the risk to keep trying. A number of years ago at a UU Music Conference, I encountered the Mennonite scholar and song leader, Ken Nofziger. Mennonite congregations, as you may know, are known for singing hymns unaccompanied in 4-part harmony during worship. Everyone in a Mennonite community learns to sing in harmony. Song is what weaves them together in religious community. Ken wrote a book, Singing a Mennonite Voice, in which he shares the responses he received from sibling Mennonites to several questions about the experience of singing. That book has been an inspiration to me for much of my ministry, and I have posed some of Ken's questions to members of this congregation over the years. It seemed like now would be a good time to return to some of those questions after 15 months of separation, with perhaps a new perspective on singing, community, and church. Amy, Brendan, Anderson, and Liz will read some of the responses from choir members to these questions. And as you listen, I invite you to also consider how you might respond. What happens between you and others as you sing?
Love, a dropping away of ego.
Singing in harmony with others is the perfect connection.
Lose yourself, feel a connection, breathing in unison, even hearts beating together.
When singing with others, my voice becomes part of something larger, a catharsis. I love the feeling of being a part of a team.
Hear strongly when next to a singer with confidence. When we all do that, our singing without a doubt becomes better collectively than it ever would have been alone. The result of this collective force and organic improvement is a greater song, a greater moment, and a greater expression of human goodness.
What happens between you and the divine, however you define it, as you sing?
I think singing breaks spiritual barriers and touches a place in me that nothing else can touch in the same way.
Sometimes my voice, my throat swells with emotion, and I feel such joy at being able to sing to express that emotion.
Harmonizing evokes in me a simple thrill and a deep satisfaction. It's truly transcendent.
I came late to singing and just discovered it's a superpower. So much fun.
Well, you know, God gets pissed off if you don't sing.
Finally, what has singing meant to you during this time of distance?
It has been very hard. Soundtrap isn't like singing with someone beside you.
We are very lucky to record, but it's not the same. But it is wonderful to be able to record and have that sense of community.
Not having the harmony near me leaves me empty. I have not enjoyed the singing on Zoom. It's not at all that much fun, but at least we sing together.
The pandemic has highlighted how precious it is to be able to sing with others, lifting up our voices in harmony.
This long distance singing, though not nearly as satisfying as in person, has been a blessing. But it's only a substitute for the real thing. We all long for the day when we will be gathering in person again and hearing each other's voices as we sing in harmony. What a gift! Having been denied this for so long now, it will be very precious and wonderful.
Never again will we take for granted the lovely sounds that we can make together to create beautiful music.
Thank you for lifting those voices. In his moving book, Oakenfield, Portrait of an English Village, author Ronald Blythe shared first-person narratives from the residents of a tiny village in East Anglia during the early part of the 20th century. The words of Fred Mitchell, an 85-year-old plowman, profoundly communicate the value of song in the fabric of his life and community. His words have had a deep resonance for the First Parish Choir for quite some time, and especially this year. Fred Mitchell said, "I never did any playing in all my life. There was nothing in my childhood, only work. I never had pleasure. One day a year, I went to Felixstowe along with the chapel women and children, and that was my pleasure. But I have forgotten one thing, the singing. There was such a lot of singing in the villages then, and this was my pleasure too. Boys sang in the fields, and at night we all met at the forge and sang. The chapels were full of singing. When the first war came, it was singing, singing all the time. So I lie. I have had pleasure. I have had singing. Or as we sing, I have had pleasure enough. I have had singing." And so I turn this question to you to reflect on and to type in the chat if you what you'd like. What has given you pleasure enough? What has given you pleasure enough? Share your answers. Brendan play some music for us. Thank you, Brendan. That was beautiful. Wonderful responses. Walking in nature, our cat, cooking and baking in my own kitchen. This has given you pleasure enough. Laughing, crying, singing, hugging, being together. Watching a snapper lay her eggs, being sung to here at First Parish. Bird song, deepening familial bonds. connecting with people, ironically, up close and personal via Zoom. Dicing an onion for stew to use in cooking. Time in the garden. Time with my daughter. Dancing. All these things that have given us pleasure enough, things to treasure. And now let's take a moment to hear Fred Mitchell's words sung by the First Parish Choir.
We have come to the time in our service when we offer the song of prayer, blessing, and just our deepest wishes and our deepest care for one another as a congregation. You'll see, if you're on Zoom, more details in the chat, but I'll say that this week, Jim R. asks to be held in care. He's having surgery on Tuesday and especially welcomes any supportive messages that you want to send his way. I wonder who else would like to be held in care, or who else you are holding in care. I invite you to type names into the chat yourself if you could use some support, or others who you are thinking of. Type their names into the chat, your names, or call those names aloud into your space now. And as Anderson put it so well, know that our spirits join together through our screens. You can keep those names coming, and we can sing together. Will you pray with me? God of love, Spirit of life, voice in the stillness and the silence. This has been a year like no other. This has been a year of hardship and pain, year of losses. It's been a year when the things that used to hold us together became risky, dangerous. And it's been a year when things that used to feel like separation for many of us have become sources of connection for many of us. Sometimes it's been not just complicated, but confusing how that could even be true. And yet it has been. Somehow it has been a year of enough. Somehow it has been a year when we have had singing, have had others singing for us, lifting us up, have had times when we light another's ember. Somehow it has been a year when we have had beauty, when we have had love and joy, peace like a river and strength like a mountain. We give thanks for all of the ways that we have been carried through this year, all of the ways that we have had enough, all of the ways that we have had joy and love. We look ahead, some of us rejoicing in being back together again in different ways, some of us still worried about the safety of that. We look ahead to the ways that we will continue to care for one another as a community. And we look ahead this week just to Jim and his surgery, sending hope and prayer that it will go well, that he will feel a sense of calm and surrounded by our care. We look ahead to each of our weeks, hoping and praying that each of us can feel a sense of calm, a sense of being surrounded by love, a sense of enough. May all who have come in solace, may all who have come in pain today find solace. May all who have come in joy find their joy doubled, and may each of us, by our daily living, make our world a better place. Let us abide in this silence, listening into it together.
Before introducing our last Share the Plate organization for this fiscal year, Household Goods, I wanted to give a shout out to Liz Rust, who has graciously continued to assist with Share the Plate throughout the pandemic. Thank you so much, Liz. Please note that the board president of Household Goods, Barbara Howland, is at our service right now and will be at coffee hour. So go and meet her using the coffee hour link, which you'll see in the chat at the end of the service. Now let's learn about household goods. Thank you, Lily. All right, so now is your opportunity to contribute to both the good work of First Parish in Concord and Household Goods, which provides furniture and household items free of charge to help people in need make a home. Our collection is split 50-50. You'll see a number appear on your screen, which will allow you to text your donation. Just text a whole number, 2050100. The first time, you'll need your credit card handy. And you can also donate through our website or postal mail a check to the church building. Your contributions are thankfully received.
We hope that you are finding ways to connect with our community. Would you like to learn more about becoming a member of First Parish? There's actually 2 orientations coming up. We'd love to answer your questions anytime by email, but you might be interested in knowing that there's a special session on Wednesday, June 9th at 7 and Sunday, June 13th at 11 a.m. And more information about that can be found in FP Weekly, which is our weekly email that contains all kinds of information about opportunities and events in our community. There's a very special event happening today at 2:30 that I wanted to share. The Transcendentalism Council of First Parish in Concord is hosting an online event. Robert Gross, winner of the Bancroft Prize for History, will discuss his soon to be released book, The Transcendentalists and Their World, with Victor Curran. And that's going to be broadcast from First Parish's parlor. And if you're interested, we're going to post in the chat more information about that. We ask that you please register by 12:30, and they'll send you a link so you could join at 2:30. Now we have so many exciting things happening behind the scenes. I want to take a little peek here to see whether Hugh, Sophie, and Bruce have joined us. I think they have, but we'll see. Okay, good. I'm getting nods and thumbs up. So thank you to those of you, hooray, those of you who have made contributions to First Parish as part of our annual pledge drive. If you may not have, I hope that you knew this. If you had increased your pledge by 520, you were entered in the 520 challenge raffle, and the prize winner will get a day of sailing on Buzzards Bay with Brad Hubbard Nelson, a truly great prize. And we are going to now have a live drawing of the winner and the alternate. And now introducing, drumroll, Hugh, Bruce, and Sophie. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
We're so happy to be doing the raffle drawing with Hugh's expert help here. We have all of the slips of paper. Go ahead, Hugh. Would you like to open the jar? And we want to say thank you to everyone who's been so generous in our community to support our church, First Parish. Here comes the first name. The winner of the sailing trip of the 520 challenge is just one slip, please. One name. Yep,
Sally Lewis.
Sally Lewis, who lives on Sweet Birch Lane. Yay! And we are going to draw a runner up just in case Sally can't do the sailing trip. And the runner up is Mel and Laura Bernstein, runners up.
Thank you so much. Oh, Sally, congratulations. And we have alternates if for some reason you cannot attend that great event, but you are the official winner. And thank you to the Wadsworth Morgan family for doing that fabulous live raffle for us. So exciting. I want to remind everybody that we are going to have a flower communion service on June 20th. And so we asked if you'd like, we would love to see your face with a flower as a part of the service. So please send in a photo to Sarah Burns, and so that you can be a part of our service. We would really like that photo by next Sunday, but why don't you just do it today and be all set? We would love to see that photo. We all are welcome at our worship sharing circle today. If you haven't been to worship sharing circle, it is a wonderful opportunity to connect with other members of First Parish, to reflect on the themes of the service. And we actually, Barbara Howland from Household Goods will be there too, so you can learn more about that wonderful organization in the worship sharing circle today. The link will appear on the screen and in the chat at the end of the service. I have been really enjoying connecting with many of you as part of our community conversations about reopening. That's right, you heard it, reopening. We are planning and together, and we want to understand your questions and your concerns, your hopes for our community. And so I hope that you will join one of these community conversations if you haven't yet. There's one today right after the service in the coffee hour Zoom link. And Howard will be there, and Beth and Liz will be co-facilitating with members of our Congregational Life Committee. Dawn and I will also be hosting one this afternoon at 5 p.m. that you could join there, or there's another one on Monday. So many opportunities to connect. Beth, you have something to share about the final hymn.
Our final hymn is known by several different titles. In our hymn book, it's called My Life Flows On in Endless Song. I have always called it, How Can I Keep From Singing? Please join the First Parish Choir and sing loud, How Can I Keep From Singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm when to that rock I'm clinging. I have had pleasure enough. I have had singing. Please join me in our benediction. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings.
Go out into the world.